Go ahead, guys.
Jared, you said that game against Boston was probably your best. How did you feel about this one then?
I liked it too. You know, I just think that the last couple games, our commitment to check and play the right way it's been really good. You know, and I thought the difference in the games, it looked like both teams were a little bit more tired. Like it didn't have the pace, physicality. Like that Boston game was intense, but both teams looked like they were well rested and ready to go. This one had the same level of detail, and we did a great job on both sides of it. It just didn't have the get up and go for both teams.
So what's changed these last two games? Is this a culmination of the work you guys have put on all?
It's not just 2 games. I know what you guys do is, you know, we give up all these scoring chances over a 10-game stretch, which was game 20 to 30, and we didn't give them up from 30 to 40. We just didn't. I mean, it's not my analytics, it's the league's analytics. So, like, our checking commitment has been good for a while, and now we're starting to see it. Like, that was just really consistent, really good, you know. But there's a lag in, you know, when we're playing really good, it gets talked about maybe when we're already starting to play poorly, and there's a lag in when we're checking good that it's just magically happening now. But it's been happening since game 30.
What kind of level is McKinnon playing on right now, Coach?
It's high. I mean, it's because it's magnified for me as the coach because we need him more now. I mean, we've been through stretches where we've needed him like this, but missing a few guys out of the lineup, you know, the depth of our forward group, and for him to be able to just bring it every single night, it's been impressive. But his game's always at a high level. It's just that now it's just like every game, he's finding a way to impact the game in a positive.
Do you think sometimes we might take it for granted?
Yeah, I think it's easy to do. Mm-hmm. Expectations are so high. You know, I notice, you know, like listening to the sports radio and everything else, you know, Joker didn't have a great game last night. Well, he's been the best player in the league for 3-4 plus years, and he's doing it every night in a different way. Like, if he doesn't have his legs, he passes it off and gets, you know, 15 assists, whatever it is, you know, and then, but it doesn't make it any less special. It's the same for Nate. Like, he has a bad game, and everyone's like, oh, Nate didn't do it tonight. Well, he just did it 40 games in a row, you know. I mean, what do you want them to do? The guys are going to, like, run out of legs every once in a while, or they're not going to have their best stuff, or they might not be feeling well. It could be anything, you know. It's a marathon of a season, so you got to look at the whole body of work. It's hard to criticize guys, or, you know, we praise them when they have a really good game because it's like you're in the moment and it's that game. But it's hard to criticize guys if they have an off night every once in a while. And I think Nate's are few and far between, so it's pretty special.
Coach, Georgie's play tonight, how much does that boost your confidence in him and really just kind of boost the confidence in the team as a whole?
Perfect game for me because we did a nice job on the checking. You know, you're never going to go through the game with 0 scoring chances against. And you're going to have, against good teams, you're going to have a couple big, they're going to earn a couple grade A chances, right? We held those numbers down, but like the ones that stand out for me, he gets, the one hits the post right down in the second period. He battled the first period to find all these loose pucks at the net front when our D and low forwards were battling and the pucks around the crease. He just stayed on it, smothered a bunch. I love that out of his first period. The penalty kill goal that they slid across the crease, I think it was Stone, a righty and he got his pad on it. That was a huge save at a key time, right? So this is exactly how I want our team to be. Like, I don't want us like giving up a lot of chances, and when we have a big breakdown, we need our goalie to make a save. It's the difference between winning and losing. And tonight he was perfect in that regard. And Boston game was a really good game, you know. So yeah, he's starting to. When our team's playing the right way, he gives us a chance to win every night.
Coach, after that November 4th Vegas game, Nate used the word chemistry, you said the chemistry was a little bit off. I think you used the word buy-in, that you guys are still working on getting everyone there. From that game to now, what can you say about the way the group has kind of gelled and bought into the system and the culture and all that?
Well, that's the improvement for me. Like, I just think it's a work in progress, right? Like, you're not gonna, even though our record's 6-0 out of the gate, that was far from perfect hockey, you know? But you got to find ways to carve out wins. You're not at your best. Your opponents aren't at your best. You're still working on things. And you can show guys and teach guys, and they all are clear on the structure. But, you know, until the team kind of really figures out what exactly it's going to take to win on a nightly basis, you're going to have like holes and gaps in your game that you're always like plug in, and then something else pops up, and different things have popped up over the course of the season that have been really good that we're trying to replicate, and then there's things that have popped up that have been really poor and we're trying to fix. But you can start to see the work. Like, everyone wants to win, and then so when the buy-in gets to the commitment to play that way, it's always boils down to giving up a little bit of yourself to make the team better, you know, for whatever sacrifice of that, what that is that we're asking to make. Our guys are making it right now, and hopefully that continues.
Coach, it does look,
Go ahead, Richie, go ahead.
it does look like schematically you guys have changed things up a little bit on the power play. Is that the case? And if so, what inspired that change?
Well, the game plan and the plan of attack changes based on our opponent and the way they play, what their structures, what they're giving up. There's a deep dive done by Ray on teams' analytics and what they're giving up, what we feel like we might be able to expose. But it's still, they got to, you know, take what the other team gives you, you know. And I think there's a really good decision making by those guys right now. The execution is high. It's not like we didn't just like all of a sudden just come up and make a change to make it good, you know. The execution within the game plan and the recognition of what teams are giving us and what could be open is what's really amped up from the players, and probably honestly a little bit of that buy-in too, you know. Like, instead of getting stubborn and getting stuck on one play or this play or that play, it's just like, you know, what are they giving us, and take advantage of it right away. So that recognition, awareness, and then the execution part of it has been great.
You last ones.
We've talked a lot about Malinsky, but you have a guy like Caleb Jones who's sat and kind of waited for his turn, I guess, and he understands his role. So how important is just a guy like that to your organization? Yeah, everyone has to be like that, you know, understand their role and then play to the best ability when the time comes, whether that's, you know, every 5th game, every 10th game, 5 minutes a night or 25 a night, right? And Jones is a great teammate, and you have to, when you're out for stretches of period of time, you really have to like dig in and do extra work, you know, even though sometimes you're kind of down in the dumps and because you're not playing or frustrated, and that's what he's been doing. He's a hard worker. He played really well tonight, and so did Sam. You know, we got guys coming up and buying into their roles. Poland again was good. You know, within the role that we're giving them, a nice time we're giving them. So I think it's really important. Like, successful teams have that. You know, if you don't have it, then you're likely not one of the top successful teams.
Thank you.
Yep.